Step 5. Okay. Attend all meetings. Attend all meetings. Attend all meetings. We have 3 online Zoom meetings a week. We've got the TWC on Wednesday. We have the product training call on Thursday. And we have the activity call on Friday. I do not want to hear, oh gosh. Now I'm going to go into daddy mode. I don't know if I want to go into daddy mode right now. I am kind of going into daddy mode. Well, let me just say it in a brother mode. I'm your brother. I'm your coach. Man, you're missing out if you don't attend all the meetings, the Zoom meetings. There's so much that you can get from it, right? It's the thing that you miss is the one that you needed. You may not, I tell you what, you might not get anything out of 80%, maybe, but that 20% is exactly the piece of the puzzle you needed to fill in the picture of success that has your face on it. See, successful you is a puzzle. And every piece that you're filling in that picture of that successful you is through all the things we're talking about, the 8 steps. And one of the most important ways to fill in the pieces are attending all meetings. And the meeting you missed is the puzzle piece that you needed to move on. And that puzzle piece may not be available for another year because that subject may not be covered for another year. And it could be at the next event, but maybe that event, it's not covered for another year from that event, but you decide not to go. Do you see how it's detrimental to you to miss any meeting because you're going to miss that key puzzle piece? Like serious, man, serious. TWC, the product call on Thursday, and the activity call. Hotspots and boot camps. Man, you just need to listen to some of the people that went to the Houston hotspot or some of the hotspots around the country, Tampa. Man, they're just jacked up. Why? Because it's full of belief. You go there to fill your tank with their belief. You have to get around the line. And I'll tell you what, it's like mainlining. You know how they squeeze an IV bag to just, what do they call that? They call that somewhere they squeeze IV to get, you are going to hotspot. They stick that IV in there and they're squeezing belief into your veins. That's what a boot camp and hotspot will do for you, baby. How can you not? It's like trying to go to church over the internet. How successful was that during COVID? Do you know how many people the churches have lost from COVID? You can't tell me that fellowship in person is not as good as over the internet. You can't tell me that because it's proven that it's not. We have lost so many people over the years since COVID because of that. That was Satan's gift to us, the pandemic, and it proved true. He pulls people out of fellowship with other people and they fall away. The same thing happens here. Hotspots, and you need to be diligent at going on the hotspot section in the ARC and looking at the next one coming up in your town. I don't care if you got to drive 2-3 hours to one. You need it. You need it. There's a boot camp coming up in Louisville this week, 20th, Friday. This Friday. So any of y'all that are in Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, I hope you're there. I pray that you're there. You need it. I need it. I need to be there. Right?
It's going to be 3 integrity partners there, I think.
3 integrity partners? Wow. That's awesome. Extra credit meetings. Okay. I'm just going to say this. The AIT that Andy has, the Albright Intense Training, that meeting is one of the most valuable meetings you can attend. I know because I attended in December and I spoke at it, but I also attended the whole thing. I sat through the whole dadgum thing because I wanted to know what everyone was getting. Oh my gosh. You need to figure out how to get to an Albright Intense meeting. And then the cabin event is another one on top of that. I wouldn't recommend that one right away. The first one you should do is AIT. It's almost like, in the Air Force as an officer, we have to go through squadron officer school. When you hit captain, you need to go through that. It's one of the so you either do it at Maxwell Air Force Base at the time when I was in, or you can do it correspondence, which wasn't as good, right? But it was better to be in person. This is AIT is that. In my opinion, anyone who wants to be anything in the alliance needs to go through AIT. It's just something that you need to get done as part of your success formula. My opinion, right? 4 major events. Okay. We had NatCon in January. Stage Success is coming up, right? We had Family Reunion later in the summer. And then fall, we have the National Boot Camp. Okay, Stage Success. Jeannie and I are going. Mary's going. Sid's going. Joe's going. Ben's going. Bruce is going. Pablo, Tabitha, and Jay Davis. I'm sorry, but that's a sorry ass numbers for our base shop. Sorry ass. It's sorry. I'm like thinking, here's the thing. It's funny how people think. I'm gonna back up. My attitude's getting a little bit strong here. It's like what Scott says. It's not for me, it's for you. Hey, okay. Let me just kind of couch this properly. If my son was stepping out on the curb and there's a bus coming that's going to mow him down and kill him, I'm going to grab him and I'm going to jerk him back on the curb. I'm going to say, son, what are you thinking? You're going to die if you just kept going. Why didn't you look both ways? Now, if it's someone else's kid, I probably wouldn't yell at him, but I'd say, boy, I'm glad I got you. It's a little bit different, isn't it? Maybe it shouldn't be. I don't know. But I'm much more because I want my son to live in the future. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he gets the message. This is how I'm talking to you. I'm pulling you from an oncoming bus called failure, and I'm pulling you out of the way. That's why I'm so passionate about this subject. I don't care if you got to put it on a credit card. I don't care if you have to ask your mama for money. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you sell stuff on eBay to get the money to come. It is worth it, worth it, worth it. You need to come out. Okay? Now, I'm going to say this too. The answers you're looking for are going to be there, but you're going to have different questions over the course of your life in the alliance. And the questions pop up that's going to be answered at the next event. And the other questions that pop, because you're developing, if you develop and grow, you're going to want to continue to come, right? It's like taking a shower. You don't just take one shower, right? And then think, okay, I'm clean. You got to keep taking showers, right? This is the same analogy. You need to keep coming to events because each event will get you to a next level. And it's something that you just cannot get over the internet. You can't live stream and think you're going to get everything. You have to be there. You got to be there in person. You got to be there in person. It's like trying to date someone from a distance. Eventually, you're going to have to get together and see if this thing's real. This thing's real when you come to each event. How can I don't know how many different ways I could say that you need to be there. I'm pulling you out of an oncoming bus called failure. Do we have any more tickets? 4 more. Okay, brand new tickets. How much are those? $99. Yeah, because I think it's $149 now. Yeah.
New people for their first 2 functions, they get cheap ass tickets.
Yeah, their first 2 functions. So if you've been to one, you still get the cheaper ticket, right? Yeah, one more. And then you get bonus points for Portugal, like hundreds of thousands of points, right? Like it's insane. They're trying to beg you to come to Portugal by awarding you these like 100,000 points, I think. 150.
I think it's 100.
For NatCon. Anyway, it's going to make it so much easier for you to go to Portugal when you come to your first event if you've never been. You know what? I could spend the rest of the dadgum night talking about this, trying to convince you this is something you ought to do. Okay. This is like telling your kid, don't hang around all those nasty kids that are smoking dope in the parking lot. What more analogies can I use? Because right now, see, we always told our kids, we kind of vetted our children, but who they're hanging out around, like if their parents go to church and, well, they went to Catholic school, so we knew sometimes the parents didn't go to church. But anyway, what I'm saying is they hung around the kids that were going somewhere in their lives, not the kids that were going nowhere. Okay. The same thing applies to you. You tell your kids not to hang around that loser kid because you don't want your kid to be a loser kid. I'm saying the same thing to you. Don't hang around losers, loser practices, loser Netflix, loser Facebook, when you can hang around all the winners, where all the winners are that can teach you how to get out of where you are. Here's the thing. If you look at where you are in life, how many of you are totally satisfied with where you are? Like, raise your hand in your own mind. I'm happy with all the income I'm making. I'm happy with where my life is. I'm happy with all my relationships. I'm happy with everything. Okay, you don't need to hear me. Maybe you don't need to come to an event. But if you got that sense of being dissatisfied in any of those areas, you are not going to change the trajectory of your life without getting to an event with people that are going somewhere. You need to get around the people that are going somewhere. And you need to stay. It doesn't help you to just come for Friday night and then leave. Every minute counts. What you needed might have been Sunday after the non-denominational church service. At the end, that could have been what flipped your switch. But if you leave early, you're not going to get that switch flipped because you decided to shortchange yourself. You paid for the whole thing. You might as well stay for the whole thing. It's like going to a concert and you leave after the opening act. You didn't get to the main event. What other analogy can I use? I can spend all night on this. That's how important I believe this is. Did you make your own decision? You're a big girl, you're a big boy. But here's what happens. Here's what I promise you. I've seen it in my 25 years of doing this business. Is that when you compromise on what you want to accomplish in your life by deciding not to do what you know you ought to do, then it becomes easier to not do that again. What you've done is you started creating a habit of, I'll do it next time. You start creating that procrastination. You start exercising that procrastination muscle to not do what you need to do. And it becomes easier not to do what you need to do next time. And if you ever look at your life and where you are today, it's a series of decisions you've made, not to do what you know you should have done. I mean, really, not to do what you should have done. And so, what I'm begging you to do is make a decision to do what you know you should do. I know deep in your heart, like if you have any ounce of belief in what I'm saying, that you know you should be there. The question is how to get there. Those are two different things. Okay, let me just make this more clear. There's the decision that you're not going to no longer walk down the road of mediocrity in your life. And you have to make the decision, yes, I'm walking down this road. I'm walking down the road of success. I'm going to this event, Stage to Success. Come hell or high water, I'm going there. I'm going to make it there. I'm going to make it happen. Make the decision. We will help you with everything else. Maybe we can get you a roommate so you can defray costs. Maybe you can ride in a car with someone that we know is coming from your area to the event. We're going to figure out how to make it easy for you. You just have to make a decision to bet on you. Because here's the thing. If you don't bet on you, who else is going to bet on you? If you don't bet on you. See, it's this flex point in your life where you can decide to move beyond what you're comfortable doing and get out of your comfort zone to do something that all the successful people do. And it's a decision away. You just have to make the decision. You know, the decision is a billionth of a volt in your head to go down the road of success. But it's the same billionth of volt decision to continue to stay in mediocrity. I know it's easy to say, well, I'll just go to the next one. Oh my gosh, you're not going to be around for the next one when you continue making these decisions of not getting outside your comfort zone. Again, this is me pulling my son out of an oncoming bus. Okay, this is the spirit I'm trying to convey. I don't want to offend you at all, but I feel compelled to tell you the truth. I was in church for an hour and a half tonight before I came out here, praying about God's will for me in my life and what direction he's putting me in. And I became convicted that I need to be more bold with how to help you get where you need to go. So this is really where that's all coming from, man. Talk about deflecting the responsibility on the Holy Spirit, right? Hey man, I'm gonna deflect it all day long, brother, sister. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, I hear something. Hotspot meetings. So this is an example. March 18th, James Coleman's doing one in Atlanta. All right, College Park. It's like right outside the airport. James Coleman and Gina Hawks are going to be there. James Coleman is one of the hottest managers right now. And if you're anywhere near the Atlanta airport, oh my gosh, you better be there or else you're going to lose. Okay. Again, I don't care. I care about you. That's why but it doesn't affect me. But it's going to affect you. Yeah, please be there. Be there. Get around James. This guy's smoking right now. And Gina Hawks, our national training manager. How are you going to lose? We have our boot camp meeting down in Louisville, Kentucky, Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 4. If you're anywhere 2 hours, 3 hours, you need to go. Do, based on everything I said. The national event, Stage to Success 2026. All right, ticket details for Stage to Success. I'm not going to read all these things, but right now, the first take pass for you new agents that haven't been to an event or you've been to your first event, and this is your second one, It's usually $149. We have four $99 tickets left. Okay. Then these are the VIP, tickets, and where you get a lot more amenities and stuff. Then if you have kids that you want to bring with you, it's only $29. Like if you got a young kid and maybe you don't have babysitters for them, you can bring them in with you, as long as they can behave themselves, right?